I bought more fake Lego. But this time, we're going to see if we can actually get some decent looking minifigures out of this, which I can actually use in my stop motions. So let's get into it. Okay, so first up we actually have this fake Lego base plate here, which we can actually put all of our final minifigures on. It doesn't look too bad, and considering that base plates normally cost a lot from Lego, this one could be pretty useful. Right, now this base plate doesn't actually feel that bad. It feels fairly strong, which is always good. Definitely fake. No Lego logos on this whatsoever, but it does have fairly rigid underside. And let's test if you can actually put a minifigure on this quite well. A little bit loose, but it attaches pretty well actually. Overall, for a lot cheaper than you'd be able to get anything in real Lego, this isn't a half bad base plate. So now let's actually start with the minifigures, and first up, we have a clone Commando. Very excited for this one. Okay, now this minifigure has a lot of body armor. He has a waist piece, an armor piece, a backpack, a helmet attachment, all sorts, and I think it does make him look slightly over detailed. I mean, he has like arm printing, armor printing, waist printing. I think the backpack could be a little bit oversized, but I mean, overall, he looks really quite cool. This visor as well, I think, does look quite oversized on him. Doesn't really work, but the good thing about that is you can just take it off. I think he looks better without it, to be fair. The only thing I would say about this helmet, which I think is actually a really good mold that they've done, but the face does look a little bit flat, in my opinion. So maybe they could have done the printing on that a little bit better. But I mean, apart from that, he is a really cool looking figure. This custom Commando blaster, this is sick. I love this. He can hold it by the actual end there, or he can also hold it by the magazine, as I was having him do earlier. But I mean, there are a few quality problems with him. I would say his arm is very stiff, and his waist is very loose. There's not much of an attachment under there. I think maybe, use him without the waist piece, without the binoculars. He looks pretty good as a minifigure. But yeah, no, I kind of like this one. Especially that blaster and helmet. They look really cool. Well, we all know that clone brothers always stick together, so our next minifigure is another clone commando. This time some sort of stealth commando. So this clone commando is much the same story as the other clone commando. All his accessories are basically the same, apart from his blaster, which is a really cool DC-19 mold. But I think he looks slightly cooler in the grey than the white. But I mean, that's really for you guys to decide in the comments down below. Okay, next we have some bounty hunters, starting with Bossk. So, for Bossk, I think this figure actually looks pretty good. That head mold is pretty much spot on. I'm not seeing any misprints with the eyes or anything like I've seen on other fake Lego head molds. The stud shooter is definitely something I'm not going to keep. I mean, this thing probably doesn't even work. Let's give it a test firing. Not bad, but yeah, I'm just going to get rid of this. I think the minifigure, though, doesn't look too bad. Like, maybe the yellow's a little bit faded, but for a knockoff, I think it's pretty decent. The joints are quite stiff. Oh, especially that one. That one's really stiff. But I kind of like this figure. I have a soft spot for Bossk for some reason, so I think this one's good. Continuing with our bounty hunter minifigures, next up we have Dengar. Okay, this minifigure is terrible. The plastic quality is just really, really bad. This arm is really loose. These hips are really loose. It just feels really like fake Lego. The face print, let's see if I can get it for you guys here. the faceprint is just so blurred and scratched. It just doesn't look very good at all. The printing on the back is terrible. The backpack was really hard to put together. The joints are just terrible. Yeah, no, this is probably the worst figure yet, by far. I'm sorry, Dengar, but they just haven't done you very well. And worst of all, this minifigure didn't even include a spare hand. Right, well, let's move on from that disaster to our next minifigure. Forlorn. Okay, this might be the best looking minifigure so far. I mean, it comes with another stud shooter, but we can just remove that. And I think they've actually done a really good job with the printing on this figure. I mean, look at those eyes there. They are really detailed. And I mean, honestly, if I wasn't able to feel the plastic quality and just looked at this minifigure, I would think it was made out of real Lego. The joints are all pretty decent, and the head moves really well. The Fate Company's actually done a really good job with this one. Our last bounty hunter of the day is the man with 1,000,000 clones, Jango Fett. Okay, you know a Fate minifigure's bad when the jetpack doesn't fit on the neck. I cannot get this thing on. And as I said, like, it just about goes on. Also, it has that giant piece of leftover plastic on the front there. That is not good. This minifigure, the quality is garbage. These hands are so tight. It took me so long to get these in. The arms are really tight as well. You still be struggling with the jetpack and the helmet. I can't get this on. It physically will not go on the minifigure. So I guess Jango Fett's just not going to be wearing his helmet for a while here. This minifigure is garbage. I mean, I think he's giving Dengar a run for his money. Oh yeah, and this one also didn't come with any spare hands. Let's hope this next Mandalorian can improve upon Jango's mistakes. Next up here we have one of Maul's Mandalorians, which I'm really excited for because these guys are expensive in Lego. Okay, now this guy actually did come with 2 rangefinders, but the one that I've got on him right now is the only one I could actually get to fit into his helmet, so I'm just going to use that one. Now, this guy is actually not a copy of the one that Lego made, but he's actually just a custom Maul's Deathwatch Mandalorian, which is kind of cool, I guess. The helmet looks a bit silly with the really thin visor at the top, but I mean, it's acceptable. He's a decent face under there. The printing on the torso and the arms is really nice. The legs, unfortunately, are really loose, but there is some really nice continuous printing from the torso to the legs, which is quite nice. His shield thing just looks silly, really. The transparent plastic quality is just bad, so I'll probably leave this off the minifigure. His jetpack is also kind of loose, wiggles around there, but he does have a nice rocket, which you can actually take out of the jetpack, I think. I mean, it came separately. I can't get it out now, but you can take that out, so it's cool detail, but I think the jetpack is oversized, and it's really kind of loose on the back as well. Okay, next up is everyone's favourite little blue musician. It's time to hear some songs from Max Rebo. This is a fairly simple little minifigure. He doesn't actually have any printing on it apart from his eyes, which I think is a really interesting fact. I don't know why they're giving him a spear. I don't remember him using a spear in the films, and he didn't have a spear as a Lego minifigure, but I mean, I won't say no to an extra free spear for my knight's army. But yeah, I mean, there's not really many things to say about this little guy. The printing around the eyes is a little bit scratched, but not bad. But I like him. He's Max Rebo. How can you not like Max Rebo? Keeping with the Jabba's Palace theme, our next minifigure is the Twi'lek dancer Oola. Now, Oola doesn't really have any accessories, but I don't think she really needs any accessories. She's quite a simple figure, I guess, with that nice Twi'lek head-tail piece. I'd say the top gem there on that head-tail is kind of blurred. Not great printing quality there. And some of the joints are a little bit stiff, but apart from that, I think she's a decent figure. The printing on the torso and the legs is quite nice. And she actually is the first figure today with a secondary face, obviously for when she's actually being eaten by the Rancor. A decent figure, but nothing outstanding. Now, our next minifigure is kind of plain and basic, but he comes with some cool accessories. This is just a standard old Stormtrooper, but it looks like we've got some cool custom blasters in there with him. Okay, for this Stormtrooper, I physically cannot get this head off to put the armor piece on. But I mean, I have to say, I'm not a big fan of these armor pieces anyway, so I probably wouldn't have put it on, but he's supposed to come with an armor piece. Yeah, no, I do not like the look of this figure at all. Considering Stormtroopers are really cheap and easy to get hold of, there is really no reason to buy this figure. The helmet looks really off. The leg printing just looks over detailed. These legs are really loose. He keeps falling apart, but we're not really here for the Stormtrooper. He came with 4 custom molded blasters, and these are why we're really here. First up, we have a Commando rifle, which I'm interested to see how it compares actually to the Commando rifle from the Commando, Clone Commando at the start. But it looks like a very similar mold. Next up, I think this is an E11. Correct me if I'm wrong. But this is one used by Stormtroopers. Then we have one of the blasters used by the Death Troopers in Rogue One. I don't know what this one's called. Again, let me know in the comments down below what this one might be called. And then we have a DC-15A, which I think is the one I'm most excited for. Let's actually give this to my little guy here. He's got his DC-15A. That is a beautiful mold. I'm definitely going to be using this in some stop motions at some point, because that is a really cool clone blaster. And I think he can also hold it here as well. Yes, but it doesn't stay very well. Can make it look like he's holding it there. That's a really cool blaster. Now, all of these are really cool molds. I think LEGO definitely should do custom molded blasters, but until they do, fake companies are probably going to be the easiest and cheapest way of getting these. Okay, now moving on to some Jedi figures, we have Stass Allie. Now, unfortunately, this minifigure does have some problems. The printing on the headdress piece is really inconsistent and not good quality at all. The lightsaber hilt, as with all fake LEGO lightsaber hilts, is just not like that nice chrome colour LEGO does. And also there's like leftover residue of plastic on the end of the lightsabers. I'm probably going to swap that out for a real LEGO lightsaber. But looking at the actual minifigure itself, I mean, some of the joints are a bit weird or stiff. And like I said, that printing on the headdress isn't great. But apart from that, it's not a terrible figure, I guess. But far from the best one today, either. Now we are on to the penultimate minifigure. And this one actually did come pre-built in a sealed bag. This is Jedi General Pong Krell. Now, we all remember Pong Krell from that Clone Wars arc on Umbara, possibly one of the best Clone Wars arcs, and I actually decided to get this figure because I am planning on using him in a future 40/40th stop motion. So, Probably not one that's going to be coming out anytime soon, but I did want to get the figure now, just to be on the safe side. And I think he looks, as a character, really cool. Again, there's lightsabers. The hilts just don't look very Lego-ish, and the colour of the green one is very different to the colour of an actual Lego green lightsaber. But obviously, those lightsabers, just like with Stass Allie, can easily be replaced. We're just looking at the actual minifigure here, and the quality of this guy is actually pretty good. The only thing that's really bad is these sort of arms up top are a little bit loose. If you sort of push them down too much, they sort of bend outwards. But apart from that, he's looking pretty good. The printing quality of this torso underneath his secondary torso, this is really good. Really good printing quality here. I like that a lot. And I mean, even the printing quality around his molded piece is quite nice. I think this actually has to be one of the best figures today. I know I was definitely looking forward to getting this guy the most out of all of these figures. Really cool character, really cool minifigure. Not a bad fake. For the final minifigure, we have a clone trooper. It's one of the clone troopers that LEGO refuses to make, which is still highly demanded by fans, so I decided to get a fake one. This is a Galactic Marine. Unfortunately here we have another pretty bad quality figure. It doesn't take much looking around to tell that this guy is just not good quality at all. The printing on that helmet, you have gaps where you can see the white underneath, and it just looks really, really bad. Unfortunately, I cannot get the head out anymore, but the head was really strange. It was just a peach head, like this, but there was no face print on it at all. I have no idea if that's a printing error or just some bizarre design choice that they've made. He does have 360 printing on the legs, which is nice. So the printing on the torso and the legs is okay. The arm printing is a little bit blurred, but it's okay. It's reasonable. It's the helmet that really just lets this figure down. And the quality of the joints, again, quite stiff joints. The legs are okay, but the arms are really stiff. He does have a nice custom blaster. Again, though, I do believe this is a Stormtrooper blaster, so I don't know why he's got a Stormtrooper blaster. Maybe it's because the designers thought he was a Snowtrooper or something. But yeah, that helmet with those scratch marks on it just really lets this figure down. And I think the green eyes as well just make it look kind of goofy. So, unfortunately, I have to say, this final figure isn't of the best quality. Well, now we've assembled all of the fake LEGO minifigures, let's put them all onto our base plate. And so here we have all of the fake LEGO minifigures. So thank you very much for watching, and don't forget to comment down below which of these fake minifigures you think could actually be decently passed off in a LEGO stop motion as not being fake. Don't forget to subscribe for more LEGO content, and I will see you in the next video.